Imaging finding a rare coin so rare it could pay off your house today. We're diving into 10 of the most valuable U.S. coins ever found. Real coins worth hundreds and even millions of dollars or more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next rare find. Let's start this.
Imagine holding a simple copper penny in your hand, a coin so ordinary that millions of people toss it into jars, leave it in car cup holders, or drop it on the sidewalk without a second thought. Now imagine that same penny quietly being worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Not gold. Not silver. Just one Lincoln cent from 1977 with no mint mark and a rare error that collectors are desperately hunting for. It sounds unbelievable, almost like a late-night infomercial promise, but here's the reality. History has proven again and again that overlooked coins can transform an average person's financial future overnight. The question is not if rare coins exist, the question is whether one of them is already sitting in your home right now, hiding in plain sight. And if you've ever thought, it's just a penny, that single thought might be the most expensive mistake of your life. Picture this for a moment. You're cleaning out an old drawer, maybe a dusty piggy bank from decades ago. You find a 1977 Lincoln Penny. You almost throw it back because, well, it's only 1 cent. But then a tiny voice says, wait, what if? That small moment of curiosity is the exact turning point that separates people who unknowingly spend fortunes, from those who discover them. Humor me for a second, how many times have you spent a penny without even looking at the date? Thousands? Millions? Don't worry, you're not alone. Most people have unknowingly passed rare coins through their fingers like grains of sand. But today, we're resetting that habit. Today, that penny deserves your full attention. The 1977 Lincoln Penny with no mint mark becomes powerful when combined with specific minting errors and exceptional condition. During the late 1970s, U.S. mint production volumes were massive, yet precision was not always perfect. Tiny mechanical slips, subtle misalignments, and microscopic inconsistencies created coins that were never meant to exist in their flawed form. Ironically, those mistakes are now treasures. Collectors don't chase perfection alone, they chase rarity, and rarity often comes disguised as imperfection. A doubled die, off-center strike, or unusual surface anomaly can turn an everyday cent into a collector's obsession. When demand collides with scarcity, prices don't just rise, they explode. Now here's where excitement meets urgency. The coin market is not static. It is alive, competitive, and emotionally charged. High-net-worth collectors, investors, and auction houses constantly scan the market for standout pieces. When a high-grade 1977 Lincoln cent error surfaces, the bidding environment becomes electric. Imagine two determined buyers, both refusing to lose, pushing the value higher with every bid. That is how seemingly modest coins achieve astonishing figures. And here's a humorous reality check: people will argue for hours over a restaurant bill, but they will fiercely compete over a rare penny like it's the last slice of pizza at a party. Why? Because rarity creates emotional urgency, and emotional urgency creates premium value. Condition is the silent multiplier. A coin preserved with sharp details, vibrant luster, and minimal wear becomes a visual masterpiece to collectors. It's no longer just money, it becomes a time capsule. Think about it, this coin has traveled through decades of American history, through pockets, registers, and hands, yet survived in remarkable form. That survival itself is part of its story. And collectors don't just buy metal, they buy stories, legacy, and bragging rights. Owning a rare 1977 error penny is like owning a miniature piece of history that fits in the palm of your hand yet commands attention in elite circles. Here is the empowering truth: extraordinary finds do not only happen to professional dealers or wealthy investors. They happen to everyday individuals who simply decided to look closer. The difference between someone who discovers a valuable coin and someone who doesn't is rarely luck alone, it is awareness followed by action. Right now, across the United States, countless coin jars, dresser drawers, and inherited collections remain unchecked. Each one represents possibility. Each one is a silent lottery ticket waiting to be read correctly. there is also a subtle fear that works in your favor if you act quickly, the fear of missed opportunity. Markets evolve, collectors move fast, and the best discoveries often reward those who take initiative today rather than someday. Ask yourself this: would you rather discover a rare coin now, or hear about someone else finding one later and wonder if you once held the same treasure? That single question has motivated thousands to re-examine their change with renewed enthusiasm. The journey from ordinary to extraordinary often begins with a single decision to pay attention. The 1977 Lincoln Penny without a mint mark, especially with a notable error and superior preservation, symbolizes more than monetary potential. It represents awareness, curiosity, and the willingness to recognize value where others see none. And that mindset extends far beyond coins. It's about seeing opportunity in overlooked places, turning small discoveries into meaningful gains, and understanding that wealth sometimes arrives quietly, disguised as the simplest object imaginable. So the next time a penny lands in your hand, pause for just a second longer than usual. Imagine opening an old drawer in your kitchen, the kind that hasn't been touched in years, and finding a simple penny, a coin so ordinary that most people would toss it into a jar without a second thought. Now imagine that same penny quietly holding the potential to be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yes, a single cent that could rival the price of a luxury home. This is not fantasy, not a lottery ticket, and not a viral internet myth. This is the fascinating world of the 1960 VDB Lincoln Penny, a small copper coin that has stunned collectors, shocked families, and rewritten financial stories across the United States. The truth is, rare coins do not announce themselves. They hide in plain sight, slipping through hands, pockets, and cash registers for decades, waiting for the one person who recognizes their true value. And here is the uncomfortable question: what if one of those pennies has already passed through your hands without you realizing it? The 1960 VDB Lincoln Penny was minted in Denver during a period of massive coin production, a time when America was booming, technology was accelerating, and the U.S. Mint was racing to keep up with demand. Millions of coins were struck, yet within that sea of copper, a few extraordinary errors emerged, tiny imperfections that transformed ordinary cents into elite collector treasures. These error coins are not just collectibles, they are historical artifacts, financial assets, and in some cases, life-changing discoveries. The market has witnessed certain high-grade error examples command astonishing prices, with rare specimens reaching values reported in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And while not every penny will hold such power, the possibility alone ignites excitement, curiosity, and a powerful sense of urgency. Because the clock is always ticking, and the rare coins are disappearing from circulation year after year, now picture this scenario. A coin collector, just like thousands of others across the country, casually inspects a handful of pennies under a simple magnifying glass. Nothing special at first glance. But then, a subtle doubling in the lettering appears, a slight misalignment, a detail so small most people would miss it entirely. That single observation becomes the gateway to discovery. Coin errors such as doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes are not mistakes in the traditional sense, they are anomalies born during the minting process, and collectors crave them because they are rare, finite, and impossible to reproduce. In the world of numismatics, rarity equals demand, and demand fuels price. It is a silent marketplace driven by knowledge rather than noise. There is also an emotional layer that makes these coins so powerful. Fear whispers, what if I throw away something valuable? Excitement counters, what if I'm holding a hidden treasure? Urgency pushes forward, what if someone else finds it before I do? These emotions are not accidental, they are the natural reaction when opportunity meets uncertainty. And humorously, isn't it ironic that the coin most people consider worthless could actually be the most valuable item in their home? It's like discovering your old couch is secretly a luxury sports car in disguise. Absurd? Maybe. Impossible? Not at all. Collectors between the ages of 30 and 65 often share a common motivation: financial empowerment combined with historical fascination. Selling rare coins is not just about money, it's about recognition, strategy, and timing. The 1960 VDB Lincoln Penny with verified errors has become increasingly desirable because serious buyers understand scarcity. High-grade examples certified by professional grading services have drawn intense bidding wars, and when competition rises, prices follow. This is not a gamble, it is a knowledge-driven pursuit where education transforms curiosity into confidence. The individuals who succeed are not necessarily the luckiest, they are the most informed, the most patient, and the most observant. Here is where the story becomes personal. Somewhere in America right now, a forgotten jar of pennies sits quietly on a shelf. A box of coins rests in an attic. A piggy bank collects dust in a child's old bedroom. Within these ordinary places could lie extraordinary potential. The difference between a 1-cent coin and a 6-figure asset is not magic, it is awareness. When you understand what to look for, when you recognize mint marks, error patterns, and condition quality, you shift from passive holder to strategic discoverer. And that shift can be financially transformative. The coin market thrives on demand, and demand thrives on rarity. As more collectors enter the space and more coins are permanently removed into private collections, the available supply tightens. This creates momentum, and momentum creates opportunity. The 1960 VDB Lincoln Penny stands as a symbol of this dynamic, a reminder that value is not always visible at first glance. It rewards those who take the time to learn, to inspect, and to act with purpose. The opportunity does not last forever, because every year fewer pristine examples remain in circulation. The window narrows, and those who hesitate may watch from the sidelines while others seize the moment. So the next time you encounter a simple penny, pause for a second longer than usual. Look closely. Ask questions. Because within that small copper circle may lie a story waiting to be discovered, a story of history, scarcity, and financial potential. And perhaps, just perhaps, the coin you once ignored could become the asset that changes your future. Imagine reaching into an old drawer, brushing aside forgotten papers, and finding a single penny that could quietly be worth more than a luxury car, more than a year's salary, even more than a house in some cities. It sounds unbelievable, almost like a movie plot, yet for a small group of collectors and sellers across the United States, this is not fantasy, it is reality. Today we are uncovering the astonishing story of the 1964 VDB Lincoln Penny, a coin that most people have seen, many have ignored, and a rare few have discovered to be a hidden financial treasure. The year 1964 was a turning point in American coin history, and the Denver Mint mark, D, stamped beneath the date holds secrets that collectors obsess over. Now ask yourself a simple question: when was the last time you truly looked at the pennies in your pocket? Not glanced, looked. Because somewhere, right now, in jars, piggy banks, and dusty boxes across the country, there may be a coin that turns ordinary change into extraordinary wealth. And here is the truth that creates both excitement and fear: most people spend these coins without ever realizing their value. They buy coffee with them, they drop them into vending machines, they let them disappear forever. But you are not most people. You are here because you understand that knowledge transforms coins into capital and curiosity into opportunity. The 1964 VDB Lincoln Penny itself is not rare in general circulation, millions were produced, but certain rare varieties and exceptional condition specimens have shocked the market with astonishing auction prices reaching into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. What creates this explosive value is not luck, but precision. Small minting anomalies, subtle doubling in the lettering, off-center strikes, or unusual metal characteristics can turn a simple copper coin into a collector's dream. Think about it: a microscopic detail invisible to the untrained eye can multiply a penny's worth thousands of times. It is almost humorous, isn't it? The smallest coin in your pocket potentially having the biggest attitude in your wallet. And while some people chase trends, smart collectors chase information. The coin market is driven by demand, scarcity, and storytelling. The 1964 VDB Penny carries all three. Demand comes from collectors who want to complete historical sets. Scarcity appears when error coins surface in pristine condition. Storytelling emerges when auctions ignite competition and bidders emotionally attach value far beyond metal and mint. This is where urgency enters the picture. Every year, coins are lost, damaged, or unknowingly spent. Every year, the remaining high-grade examples become more desirable. And here is the powerful truth: you do not need to be a professional numismatist to identify opportunity. You need awareness, patience, and the willingness to inspect what others overlook. The coin market rewards those who pay attention. It does not reward those who assume pennies are worthless. Now imagine the emotional shift from uncertainty to confidence, from curiosity to action. You begin checking your change, examining the date, spotting the mint mark, noticing unusual features. What once felt like loose metal now feels like potential. This is how collectors build wealth quietly, intelligently, and consistently. The 1964 VDB Lincoln Penny symbolizes more than a coin. It represents the idea that value hides in plain sight, waiting for someone disciplined enough to recognize it. And here is the inspiring reality: the opportunity is not reserved for the elite or the wealthy. It belongs to the observant. It belongs to those who take 5 extra seconds to inspect a coin instead of tossing it aside. In a world racing toward digital payments, physical coins are becoming historical artifacts, and history always rewards preservation. The next time you receive change, do not treat it casually. Treat it like a potential investment. Because somewhere between ordinary circulation and extraordinary auctions lies the thin line of awareness. You are no longer just someone holding coins, you are someone evaluating assets. And while others laugh at pennies, you understand their silent power. Imagine holding a single copper penny in your hand, a coin so small, so ordinary, that most people would toss it into a jar without a second thought, yet that same penny, in the right condition, with the right error, could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Today, we are stepping into the fascinating world of the 1969 VDB Lincoln Penny, a coin that could quietly be hiding in drawers, piggy banks, or forgotten collections across America, waiting for the right owner to recognize its true power. If you have ever wondered whether loose change could transform your financial future, this story might be the wake-up call you didn't know you needed. In the late 1960s, the United States Mint was producing billions of pennies, but among those countless coins, a few extraordinary pieces emerged with rare mint errors that would later ignite the passion of collectors and investors worldwide. The 1969 VDB Lincoln Penny is not just metal, it is history pressed into copper, a snapshot of an era filled with cultural change and economic growth. Now imagine the thrill of discovering that the penny sitting in your home carries a rare feature, an error so unusual that collectors compete fiercely to own it. We are talking about auction rooms buzzing with anticipation, bidders raising paddles with steady hands but racing hearts, and final prices climbing into life-changing territory. It sounds unbelievable, until you realize it has already happened. Act 1 begins with curiosity. You open a small box of old coins, maybe inherited from a relative or collected casually over years. Most pennies look identical, but then your eyes notice something slightly different: the mint mark, the date, the sharpness of the lettering. This is the moment where ordinary people become treasure hunters. The emotional spark ignites, excitement mixed with disbelief. Could this really be valuable? Could a simple coin contribute to a more secure, more prosperous lifestyle? Many collectors started exactly this way, not as experts, but as observers who chose not to ignore the details. Act 2 is discovery and rising tension. As you research, compare images, and perhaps consult a professional grader, the possibility becomes more real. Rare coin errors are like fingerprints, unique, unmistakable, and highly sought after. The 1969 VDB Lincoln Penny with a significant error can command astonishing market attention, sometimes reaching valuations spoken about in collector circles with awe. Picture the scenario: you once used pennies to buy candy as a child, and now one of those very coins could stand beside luxury cars and real estate in terms of value. It almost feels like a plot twist from a movie. And here comes a gentle reality check with a smile: who knew that the coin people leave on restaurant tables might someday outshine a designer watch? Humor aside, this is where urgency enters. Coins are lost, damaged, or overlooked every single day. The difference between a six-figure asset and a 1-cent coin is often just knowledge and timing. Act 3 delivers transformation and authority. You now understand that rare coins are not merely collectibles, they are tangible assets backed by history, scarcity, and demand. The market for high-grade error coins remains strong because serious collectors and investors recognize their long-term appeal. When a 1969 VDB Lincoln Penny with the right characteristics appears at auction, the competition can be intense, driving prices to remarkable heights. This is where fear of missing out quietly whispers in the background. How many valuable coins have already slipped through unnoticed hands? Yet instead of fear paralyzing you, it becomes motivation. You begin to look at every coin with new respect, every detail with sharper awareness, and every opportunity with confidence. Throughout this journey, one powerful truth connects every point: value often hides in plain sight. The difference between those who benefit and those who miss out is not luck alone, it is attention, education, and decisive action. The coin market rewards patience and knowledge, and for individuals between 30 and 65 who appreciate both financial growth and the thrill of discovery, this field offers a rare blend of excitement and practicality. You are not chasing fantasy, you are engaging with history that has already proven its worth time and again. So the next time you hear the soft clink of pennies in a jar, pause for a moment. Ask yourself a simple question: what if one of these coins carries a story worth thousands, or even hundreds of thousands? That question alone can reset your perspective. The 1969 VDB Lincoln Penny represents more than currency, it symbolizes possibility, awareness, and the realization that extraordinary opportunities often arrive disguised as ordinary objects. In a world where people constantly search for the next big investment, sometimes the most powerful discoveries are already resting quietly in your pocket, waiting for you to recognize their true brilliance. Imagine this: you are cleaning out an old drawer, flipping through a small jar of loose change that has been sitting untouched for decades, and suddenly a single penny catches your eye. It looks ordinary, worn, maybe even dirty, yet what if that tiny copper coin in your hand could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? What if the difference between spare change and life-changing wealth is nothing more than a microscopic detail most people overlook every single day? This is not fantasy. This is the hidden world of rare coin collecting, and today we are diving into one of the most fascinating discoveries in American numismatics, the 1973 Lincoln Penny with no mint mark error, a coin that in extraordinary condition and with the right characteristics has stunned collectors with auction prices reaching as high as $768,000. Yes, a single penny potentially worth more than a luxury home. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you really looked at your coins instead of just spending them? In the first act of our story, we enter the world of possibility and curiosity. The 1973 Lincoln Penny was minted in enormous quantities, and millions still circulate today, which is exactly why most people ignore them. But here is where the hidden opportunity lies: not all 1973 pennies are the same. The absence of a mint mark, especially when paired with specific minting anomalies or pristine condition, transforms an everyday coin into a collector's obsession. Coin experts and professional graders examine minute details such as strike sharpness, luster, die variations, and preservation state. A coin that appears insignificant to the untrained eye can ignite bidding wars among wealthy collectors who understand rarity, history, and prestige. Think about it for a moment. People pay thousands for designer shoes they wear twice, but collectors will pay fortunes for a coin smaller than a button. Funny how value works, isn't it? Yet behind that humor is a powerful truth: knowledge changes everything. The person who recognizes rarity holds the advantage, and that advantage can translate into generational wealth. As we move into the second act, tension rises and emotion takes center stage. There is excitement and discovery, but also urgency and even fear: fear of missing out, fear of unknowingly spending a treasure, fear that a life-changing opportunity could slip through your fingers simply because you didn't know what to look for. The 1973 no mint mark Lincoln Penny represents more than metal, it represents awareness. Stories circulate in the numismatic community about individuals who unknowingly sold rare coins for $1, only to learn later they were worth thousands. That realization stings, and it is precisely why education is power. Imagine handing over a coin at a gas station that could have funded your retirement. It sounds unbelievable, yet it happens more often than people think. This is where excitement meets responsibility. The market for rare coins continues to thrive because collectors crave historical artifacts that symbolize both nostalgia and exclusivity. When a coin surfaces in exceptional condition or with a notable error, demand surges. Auctions become intense arenas where bidders compete not just for ownership, but for status and legacy. And here is a humorous twist to reset your focus: your piggy bank might secretly be a better investment portfolio than some stock accounts. Surprising? Absolutely. Impossible? Not at all. In the final act, we reach empowerment and resolution. The message is not merely about one penny, it is about perspective and action. The 1973 Lincoln Penny with no mint mark stands as a symbol of hidden value waiting to be recognized. For individuals aged 30 to 65 who seek financial security, lifestyle upgrades, or simply the thrill of discovery, coin collecting offers a unique intersection of history, strategy, and opportunity. The market rewards those who are observant, patient, and informed. Every coin you examine becomes a chance to uncover rarity, a chance to connect with America's past, a chance to potentially transform loose change into meaningful wealth. The demand for exceptional coins remains strong because collectors understand that rarity cannot be manufactured, it can only be found. And the beauty of this journey is that anyone can begin. You do not need a vault or millions of dollars to start, you need awareness, curiosity, and the willingness to look closer than the average person. So the next time a penny lands in your palm, pause for a second longer than usual. That small moment of attention could be the difference between ordinary routine and extraordinary reward. Wealth does not always announce itself with flashing lights, sometimes it hides quietly in copper tones, waiting for the person who knows its worth. Imagine this for a moment: you are cleaning your kitchen, you find an old penny, dull brown, almost invisible among other coins, and that single coin has the potential to change your financial future. Sounds impossible. Yet stories like these are happening more often than people realize. Today, we are uncovering the mystery of the 1973 VDB Lincoln Penny, a small copper coin that most people overlook, but collectors are desperately hunting. And here's the shocking truth: certain rare error versions of this penny have reached astonishing prices in the collector market, with elite specimens being valued in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. The question is, could one be hiding in your home right now? Let's step back into 1973, a time of economic change, cultural transformation, and millions of pennies being produced at the Denver Mint, marked with a tiny but powerful letter, D. Billions of coins entered circulation, passing through hands, pockets, and piggy banks. Most of them are ordinary. But not all. Within those billions, a microscopic percentage were struck with mint errors, imperfections that collectors consider treasures. Double die impressions, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, or dramatic planchet flaws can turn a 1-cent coin into a collector's dream. It's almost poetic, isn't it? The smallest denomination, sometimes holding the largest surprises. And here's a humorous thought: you might be ignoring a penny on the sidewalk while someone else would frame it like a painting. Strange world, right? Now imagine the excitement of a seasoned coin collector scanning through rolls of pennies late at night under a bright lamp, heart racing with every coin flip. Why? Because rarity is not just about age, it's about uniqueness. A 1973 VDB Lincoln Penny with a significant, verified mint error in pristine condition can attract fierce bidding wars. Auctions become battlegrounds of ambition where collectors, investors, and historians compete for ownership. This is where emotions ignite. Fear of missing out. Excitement of discovery. Urgency of action. Because once a rare coin is sold into a private collection, it may disappear from the market for decades. The opportunity doesn't knock twice, it whispers once, but here is the turning point in our story: knowledge transforms luck into strategy. Most people handle coins without a second glance, yet those who understand grading, mint marks, and error type see opportunity everywhere. The difference between 1 cent and a life-changing sum is not magic, it is awareness. When you examine a coin closely, you are not just looking at metal, you are reading a chapter of American history stamped in copper. Think about it: presidents, decades, economic shifts, all captured in a single penny. And sometimes, that chapter comes with a premium collectors are willing to pay aggressively for. It's like owning a tiny time machine that fits in your palm. Now picture this scenario: two individuals find the same coin. One tosses it into a jar. The other researches, verifies, and lists it at auction. One gains a penny. The other gains opportunity. Which one do you want to be? This is not about luck anymore, it is about attention. The 1973 VDB Lincoln Penny represents more than currency, it represents potential hidden in plain sight. And in a world where people chase complex investments, it is fascinating that extraordinary value can exist in something so simple. Almost ironic, the smallest coin demanding the biggest respect. As we reach the final chapter, the message becomes clear and powerful. Every old coin you own deserves a second look. Every penny has a story, and some stories carry incredible value. The market for rare coins continues to attract passionate collectors who are willing to pay premium prices for authenticity, rarity, and condition. The demand is driven by history, scarcity, and the thrill of ownership. So the next time you hear the faint clink of coins in your pocket, pause for a second. Ask yourself, is this just spare change, or a hidden asset waiting to be recognized? Because opportunities often arrive quietly, disguised as ordinary objects. Imagine holding a simple copper penny in your hand, a coin you might normally toss into a jar, slide across a counter, or leave forgotten in a drawer. Now imagine that same penny being worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Sounds impossible. Yet for a small number of collectors and sharp-eyed individuals, this is not fantasy, it is reality. Today we dive into the fascinating world of the 1978 Lincoln Penny with no mint mark, a coin that, under the right circumstances, has captured the attention of collectors and sparked auctions reaching astonishing heights. Before you dismiss the change in your pocket, ask yourself one question: what if the next penny you ignore could change your financial story forever? Because history has proven that ordinary people have unknowingly carried extraordinary coins for years. In the first act of our story, we step into the world of overlooked treasure. The late 1970s were a time when millions of pennies were produced, flooding everyday commerce. Most people saw them as insignificant, almost invisible. Yet within this ocean of copper, subtle variations and rare minting anomalies quietly emerged. The 1978 Lincoln Penny without a visible mint mark appears, at first glance, completely ordinary. And that is precisely why it is so powerful. Its value does not come from flashy gold or ancient age, it comes from rarity, condition, and the collector's relentless hunt for perfection. Think about it: the coin you once used to buy a piece of candy could, under pristine conditions and unique characteristics, attract serious attention from investors. It's almost humorous how something so small can command such big numbers. If coins had personalities, this penny would be the quiet millionaire at the party who never brags. As we move into the second act, tension and excitement build. This is where awareness transforms into opportunity. Collectors are not simply buying metal, they are buying history, scarcity, and bragging rights. The phrase, "no mint mark," does not automatically make a coin rare, and this is where many people become confused, but certain high-grade examples and exceptional error variations can ignite intense bidding wars. Imagine discovering one of these rare pieces in your possession. Your heart races. Your curiosity turns into urgency. You begin searching drawers, jars, old wallets, inherited boxes. Suddenly, everyday change becomes a treasure hunt. The fear of missing out becomes real. What if you already spent one years ago? What if the coin you overlooked was the one collectors dream about? At the same time, excitement fuels motivation. The market has shown that pristine, highly graded coins with strong demand can command eye-opening prices at major auctions. This is not luck alone, it is awareness meeting preparation. And here's a light moment to reset your focus: if pennies could talk, some would probably beg, please don't spend me at the vending machine. Now we arrive at the final act, resolution and empowerment. The true message is not merely about a single coin, but about mindset. Wealth does not always arrive in grand gestures, sometimes it hides in plain sight, disguised as something ordinary. The 1978 Lincoln Penny represents a broader truth: knowledge creates opportunity. When you understand rarity, grading, and demand, you begin to see value where others see nothing. This awareness can turn casual curiosity into a strategic advantage. The coin market thrives on condition, authenticity, and timing, and those who educate themselves position themselves ahead of the crowd. There is urgency here, not panic but purpose, because every day coins change hands, markets shift, and hidden gems resurface. The difference between regret and reward often comes down to attention. So the next time a penny rests in your palm, pause for a moment. Feel its weight, study its details, and recognize that within the smallest objects can lie the greatest surprises. This is not about chasing fantasies, it is about cultivating awareness, discipline, and vision. The collectors who succeed are not merely lucky, they are informed, patient, and decisive. And as you continue your journey through the world of rare coins, remember that opportunity rarely announces itself loudly. Sometimes it whispers, from the bottom of a coin jar, from an old family album, from a forgotten pocket. Imagine this: you're cleaning out an old drawer, maybe the same drawer that has held forgotten keys, faded receipts, and a handful of coins you never bothered to count. Your fingers brush against a small copper penny, dated 1978 with a tiny D mint mark beneath the year. At first glance it feels ordinary, almost invisible in a world rushing toward digital money. But what if that single penny, the one most people would toss aside without a second thought, could be worth a life-changing fortune? What if the difference between pocket change and hundreds of thousands of dollars was hidden in a microscopic detail that only a trained eye could see? Today, we uncover the hidden power of the 1978 Lincoln Penny, a coin that has stunned collectors, sparked bidding wars, and turned everyday people into unexpected winners. And the real question is, could one be sitting quietly in your home right now? In the world of coin collecting, rarity is not always loud. Sometimes it whispers. The 1978 Lincoln Penny was minted in Denver during a year when millions of coins were produced, yet within that sea of metal, a handful emerged with extraordinary mint errors, subtle anomalies that transformed them from common currency into prized treasures. These errors are not mistakes in the ordinary sense, they are historical fingerprints, mechanical quirks frozen in copper, proof that even the most routine processes can produce miracles. Imagine owning a coin that collectors compete for, investors chase, and auction houses spotlight under bright lights. Stories circulate of rare 1978 pennies reaching astonishing market values, climbing into the realm of hundreds of thousands of dollars, with elite specimens reported as high as $864,000 under the right conditions. That number doesn't just represent money, it represents freedom, opportunity, and the power of knowledge. And here's the twist: most people overlook them every single day. It's like walking past a winning lottery ticket because it doesn't look shiny enough. But let's pause for a second. Have you ever ignored a penny on the ground because it's just 1 cent? That tiny decision could be the difference between habit and wealth. The excitement in the coin market today is not driven by luck alone, it is driven by awareness. Collectors understand that mint errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual metal compositions are the hidden language of value. When these characteristics appear on a 1978 Lincoln Penny in exceptional condition, the demand skyrockets. Think of it like art: two paintings may look similar, but the one with the rare signature becomes priceless. The coin market operates on the same emotional fuel: scarcity, competition, and the thrill of discovery. And here's where urgency steps in: every year, more rare coins are locked away in private collections, meaning fewer remain in circulation. The window of opportunity narrows quietly, without announcement, without warning. Time does not wait, and neither does the market. Now picture the emotional shift, from uncertainty to confidence, from curiosity to authority. The people who succeed in this space are not gamblers, they are observers. They learn to recognize details others miss. A slight doubling of letters, an unusual rim, an off-center portrait, these are not flaws, they are golden signals. The beauty of the 1978 D penny is that it still appears in everyday places, old jars, inherited boxes, forgotten wallets. The opportunity is not locked behind expensive vaults, it is hiding in plain sight. And let's be honest, there's a certain thrill in knowing that something so small can hold such massive potential. It's like discovering that the book on your shelf is actually a first edition signed by the author. Suddenly, what was ordinary becomes extraordinary. As we move toward the final realization, the message becomes clear: value is not always about size or age, it is about uniqueness and timing. The coin market rewards those who act with awareness and confidence. The 1978 D Lincoln Penny represents more than a collectible, it represents a mindset shift. Instead of seeing spare change, you begin to see opportunity. Instead of ignoring small details, you begin to study them. And when you do, the world changes. The demand for rare coins continues to rise because history cannot be reproduced. Every year that passes increases the mystique, the competition, and the potential reward. So the next time a penny crosses your path, don't rush past it. Hold it, examine it, respect it. Because within that single cent could be the story of transformation, from overlooked metal to sought-after treasure, from routine habit to life-changing discovery. And in a world where everyone is searching for the next big opportunity, sometimes the biggest opportunities are the ones we nearly missed. Imagine holding a simple copper-colored penny in your hand, a coin so ordinary that millions of people overlook it every single day, yet hidden among those everyday coins could be a 1979 D Lincoln Penny with a rare mint error that collectors have fought over for staggering sums of money. Now picture this for a moment: what if the next time you reach into your drawer, your car cup holder, or that dusty jar in the kitchen, you are unknowingly touching a coin that could change your financial future? It sounds unbelievable, almost cinematic, but history has proven again and again that small coins can carry life-changing value. The 1979 D Lincoln Penny is one of those mysterious pieces that has captured the imagination of serious collectors and investors alike, with rare error variations rumored to command prices as high as hundreds of thousands of dollars in elite auction environments. And the most dangerous mistake people make is ignoring their pennies because they look common. That single moment of dismissal could cost someone a fortune. In the first act of this journey, we step into the world of hidden opportunity. The late 1970s was a period of massive coin production in the United States, and the Denver Mint released millions of Lincoln pennies into circulation. On the surface, they appear identical, the same portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the same year, the same tiny D mint mark beneath the date. But within that ocean of metal, a few anomalies emerged. Mint errors, double strikes, off-center prints, and subtle design misalignments turned a normal coin into a collector's dream. These are not fantasy stories, these are real market phenomena where rarity meets demand. Think about it: if even 1% of people check their coins carefully, the remaining 99% are unknowingly increasing the odds for those who do. Opportunity hides in plain sight, and most people walk past it every single day. It's almost humorous when you realize that the same coin used to buy a piece of gum decades ago could now rival the price of a luxury car. Who knew pocket change could have VIP status? As we move deeper into the second act, the emotional tension rises. This is where excitement meets urgency. Coin collectors are not casual hobbyists anymore, many are strategic investors hunting for tangible assets with historical significance. The 1979 D-era penny sits in a fascinating space where nostalgia, scarcity, and financial ambition collide. When a rare specimen surfaces in pristine condition, bidding wars can erupt like fireworks on Independence Day. One collector sees history, another sees profit, and a third sees legacy. The fear here is not fear of loss alone, it is the fear of missing out. Imagine discovering years later that you once owned a coin worth an extraordinary amount but spent it on a vending machine snack. That thought alone is enough to send chills down anyone's spine. Yet on the brighter side, awareness transforms fear into power. Knowledge is the magnifying glass that turns an ordinary person into a confident evaluator. And let's be honest, checking a penny is far easier than checking stock market charts all day. No complicated algorithms, just your eyes, a little patience, and the willingness to believe that small things can hold massive value. Finally, we arrive at the third act, empowerment and action. The message here is not about luck, it is about attention and intention. The coin market thrives on those who recognize value before the crowd does. The 1979 VDB Lincoln Penny with a genuine mint era represents more than money, it symbolizes awareness, timing, and the courage to look closer when others don't. There is a growing demand for rare U.S. coins among collectors who view them as portable pieces of history and potential financial assets. When demand rises and supply remains limited, value naturally intensifies. This is why auctions become electrifying arenas where a single coin can command astonishing figures. The lifestyle many dream about, financial comfort, freedom of choice, and the pride of smart decisions, often begins with small disciplined actions. Something as simple as examining your spare change can open doors to unexpected possibilities. So the next time you hear the clink of coins in your pocket, pause for a second and smile, because hidden among those ordinary sounds could be an extraordinary opportunity waiting patiently for someone who refuses to overlook the details. Imagine holding a simple penny between your fingers, a coin so common that millions of people toss it into jars, car cup holders, or forget it at the bottom of drawers. Now imagine that same penny silently carrying the power to change a life. The year is 1982. The mint mark is a small d. And for a rare few, this Lincoln penny is not just spare change, it is a hidden financial opportunity that collectors dream about. Most people will never notice it. Most people will spend it without a second thought. But the few who understand what they are looking at, those are the people who turn ordinary moments into extraordinary outcomes. And here is the unsettling truth, the next life-changing coin could already be in your home right now, sitting quietly, waiting for someone with the right knowledge to recognize its value before it disappears forever. Act 1 begins with awareness, the realization that opportunity often disguises itself as something small and ordinary. In 1982, the United States Mint made significant changes to the Lincoln penny's composition, creating variations that collectors scrutinize to this day. Among these, the 1982 VDB penny with specific era characteristics has become a symbol of how tiny details can command enormous attention in the coin market. This is not about luck alone, it is about observation, patience, and understanding the language of mint marks, metal composition, and minting anomalies. Think about it. People search for luxury cars, real estate deals, or stock tips, yet some of the most powerful investments in history have been hiding in everyday currency. It is almost humorous when you realize someone might be guarding a piggy bank filled with pennies worth more than a vacation home. The irony is both entertaining and motivating. The lesson is clear, what you overlook today could be what someone else profits from tomorrow. Act 2 shifts into discovery and rising excitement. The moment a collector identifies a genuine era coin, the emotional shift is immediate, disbelief turns into curiosity, curiosity turns into research, and research transforms into determination. The 1982 VDB Lincoln Penny era represents a category of coins that ignite bidding wars, not because of their face value, but because of rarity, condition, and historical context. The marketplace responds to scarcity and authenticity, and when these two forces meet, values can rise dramatically. Picture the scene, a simple coin placed under bright light, examined through magnification, weighed with precision, compared with verified examples, and suddenly the realization hits that this tiny piece of copper-colored metal might be worth more than years of routine savings. That surge of excitement is what drives collectors, investors, and everyday individuals to search their collections with renewed focus. It is also where urgency enters the picture. Coins are lost, spent, or damaged every day. Waiting too long can mean missing a window that may never open again. And let's be honest, if a penny could potentially compete with the value of a luxury watch, wouldn't you at least want to double-check your change jar tonight? Act 3 delivers resolution and empowerment. Knowledge transforms hesitation into confident action. The individuals who succeed in the coin market are not merely lucky, they are informed, prepared, and decisive. They understand grading standards, authentication processes, and the importance of professional evaluation. They connect the dots between history, rarity, and demand. What begins as curiosity becomes a disciplined approach to recognizing opportunity. There is a powerful sense of control that comes from knowing you are no longer guessing, you are evaluating with purpose. And while not every coin will be extraordinary, the process itself builds awareness, financial literacy, and a sharper eye for hidden value in everyday life. The true reward is not only the possibility of a remarkable sale, but the mindset it cultivates, the ability to see potential where others see nothing. That mindset extends beyond coins into business, investments, and personal growth. In the end, the story of the 1982 VDB Lincoln Penny era is larger than a single coin. It represents the principle that opportunity often arrives quietly, disguised as something familiar. The difference between those who benefit and those who miss out is attention, education, and timely action. Somewhere right now, in a drawer, a jar, or a forgotten wallet, a small copper coin might be waiting for someone who refuses to underestimate it.